So let's jump right in. When I say the word accountant, what's the first thing that pops into your head? I'm guessing it's taxes, right? Piles of receipts in a shoebox? Well, for most people, that's the whole picture. But what if I told you that's just the tiniest tip of the iceberg in today's business world? We're going to pull back the curtain and see what a modern accountant actually does and how they can be one of the most powerful drivers of your company's growth. First, let's get real for a second. Does this sound familiar? You're hustling, you're trying to grow, but you keep hitting the same wall. The same financial headaches, the same bookkeeping nightmares, that same panic that sets in around tax time. You know, these little recurring problems, they aren't just annoying, they're actively holding your business back from where it could be. And hey, if that's you, you are so not alone. I love this quote from a business owner because it's just so honest. I really hate all things accounting. For a lot of us, the financial side of the business just isn't our jam, and that's perfectly okay. The frustration is real, but the good news is the right partner can completely flip that script, turning stress into a streamlined, powerful tool for your business. Okay, so that brings us to our first section, the business growth barrier. Let's really dig into what these specific challenges are that get in the way of your business's goals. You know, it really boils down to three big things. First, just managing the day-to-day money, what's coming in, what's going out. Simple, but so easy to mess up. Second, trying to navigate that incredibly complex web of tax laws and regulations to make sure you're doing everything by the book. And third, and honestly, this is the big one, is actually using all that financial data to make smart decisions that move your business forward. Get any one of those wrong, and you've got a serious roadblock. So how do you get past that barrier? Well, that leads us right into Section 2, finding your financial guide. This is all about changing how you think. We need to stop seeing an accountant as just a number cruncher and start seeing them as an essential guide for your entire business journey. But listen, not all guides are created equal. When you're looking for a firm, you need a mental checklist. You know, do they have the right credentials? Is that CPA designation there? Do they have real hands-on experience in your industry, not just any industry? What's their reputation like? Go look at the reviews. And this one is huge. Can they explain complicated financial stuff in a way that you actually understand? And of course, is their pricing clear and upfront? No one likes nasty surprises. Now, speaking of credentials, let's zoom in on this for a second because it's super important. The term accountant can be pretty broad, but a chartered professional accountant, a CPA, that's a whole other level. These are folks who've gone through extra, really tough training. That means they have a much deeper grasp of tax law and complex accounting principles, and they are bound by some seriously strict ethical standards. That CPA designation, it's your signal that you're dealing with a top-tier expert. Okay, so you've found your guide. What's in their toolkit? What can they actually do for you? In Section 3, we're going to look at the modern accountant's toolkit and see how their services can build a solid foundation, spark real growth, and ultimately future-proof your business. Let's start with the basics, the bedrock services that give your business a solid financial floor to stand on. Yeah, we're talking about things like corporate tax returns and bookkeeping, but look closer. We're talking about virtual and outsourced bookkeeping that saves you a ton of time. We're talking about setting you up from day one with incorporation help and getting your cloud accounting set up properly. See, this isn't just about ticking boxes for compliance, it's about building a smart, efficient system from the very beginning. Now let's talk about growth. This is where things get exciting. This is where specialized knowledge is an absolute game changer. Take SR&ED, for example. It's a huge Canadian tax incentive program for research and development. Now, for most people, trying to navigate it is a nightmare. But for an expert, it's a tool they can use to unlock massive tax credits for your business. Money you can pour right back into developing your next big thing. That's what I'm talking about. Accounting that literally fuels innovation. And finally, let's talk about future-proofing. A true partner isn't just looking at last quarter's numbers. They're looking years down the road with you. They can help you understand what your business is truly worth. They can help you with estate planning. They can provide critical support if you're ever in a legal battle. And maybe most importantly, they help you create financial forecasts and budgets that guide your strategy. This is all about looking forward, not just back. Now, being a master of all those strategic services, that doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time. A number like 20 years in the business isn't just a number. It represents 2 decades of dealing with market crashes, tax law changes, and 1,000 unique business problems you couldn't even imagine. That's the kind of deep expertise you need to not just file reports on the past, but to help you build the future with confidence. All right, so we've seen all the services in the toolkit. Now let's move on to Section 4, from compliance to profit. We've talked about the what, now let's get to the why. Why does any of this actually matter for your bottom line? At its core, all of accounting follows this really logical flow. It all starts with providing clear financial information. How? By systematically recording every transaction. That then allows you to track all your assets and liabilities, which in turn helps you monitor your cash flow, which, as we all know, is the lifeblood of any business. Finally, all of that hard work comes together in your financial statements, which basically tell the story of your business's health.
And when that whole process is handled by a pro, these are the real-world results you get. First, you minimize your tax bill, not just by filing on time, but by finding all the credits and deductions you probably didn't even know existed. Second, you get streamlined finances, which might just cut your own bookkeeping time in half, freeing you up to focus on your actual customers. And third, you can finally make truly informed decisions, knowing for sure if it's the right time to hire or expand or invest. This quote from a client just nails it. It perfectly captures that big shift we've been talking about. It's not just about the numbers themselves, it's about the strategic insight you can pull from those numbers. A modern accountant helps you understand the story the numbers are telling you about your business, your market, and your biggest opportunities. And here is a perfect real-world example of what streamlined actually looks like. This business went from what was probably total financial chaos to a super organized, efficient system using cloud accounting. Just stop and think for a second about the time and the mental energy that frees up for the business owner. That's the real impact of a great accounting partner. It makes your entire business run better. And that brings us to our last section, a chance for you to do a little reflection. Section 5, the essential questions to ask. So here's the question I want you to really think about. It's so easy to see accounting as just another expense, another line item on the budget. But what's the real cost of not having that expert help? What about the missed tax credits, the hours you wasted on messy bookkeeping, the huge opportunities you missed because you just didn't have a clear picture of your finances? That is the true cost. And we'll end on this quote because it just brings everything full circle. The ultimate goal here is to create a system that makes the financial side of your work easy, especially if it's not your strength. That's what frees you up to focus on what you're actually brilliant at, serving your clients, creating amazing products, and growing your business. So the final thought I'll leave you with is this. What could you really achieve if your finances were no longer a barrier, but were your secret weapon?